So in the NBA, I've heard this criticism for years. All you got to do is watch the last 5 minutes. Well, last night was a great example. So the Mavericks are a bad team in close games, 2-12. The Clippers are a great team in close games, 8-3. That's not random or insignificant. That's everything. Because in the NBA, and I've been watching it for 40 years, playoff games are decided in the last 5 minutes. And the last 5 minutes of that game last night is why the Clippers won. Dallas doesn't know how to win those games. They've been lousy. I've watched Dallas play a dozen times this year. Half the games have been close late. I don't think they've won any of them. They outplayed Houston, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, the whole game. Houston has Westbrook and Harden and Covington and veterans and beat them. You got last night, all you need to know is that there were multiple times, once on a fast break, where Luka is wide open and Seth Curry's thrown up a lousy three. Did you notice in the last 5 minutes how intense the Clippers defense got? You could look at their body language. Did you notice in the last 7 minutes that Dallas, who had 14 threes up to that point, last 7 minutes, Dallas hit 1 3. Dallas got no freebies. Dallas got no cheapies. The Clippers played real defense. And in the fourth quarter, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard either scored and assisted on all but 4 points for the Clippers. That's why the Clippers won. My bad, 2 points. Paul George and Kawhi scored or assisted on all but 2 points for the Clippers. The Clippers are the better defensive team. It won the game. The Clippers didn't allow any good looks on three-pointers. That won the game. And the Clippers got it to Kawhi, and everything ran through Kawhi. And then Kawhi got it to Paul. He got it to Beverly. He got it to all his veteran players. That's why the Clippers won. That is why veteran teams like the Clippers are good in close games, and super talented young teams like the Mavs are bad in close games. There is a saying in sports, and it goes across all sports. Do you know how to win close games? It's not just talent. Do you know how to win them? Dallas doesn't. Last night, you got Seth Curry coming down the floor. Luka's wide open. Seth bad three. It's not the way it worked for the Clippers. Every possession, find Kawhi, and Kawhi looking for Paul or Patrick Beverly or Lou Williams, looking for all the veteran players on the floor. That's why. This is not random. What happened last night was not about a technical. It was about a really great player for the Mavs not taking personal responsibility and not understanding his value. And the second part was 5 minutes left in this game. The Clippers totally clamped down and said, okay, fellas, we're real close here. Let's clamp down. And this is why I think the Clippers are going to win the championship. You know, there's always been this saying in the NBA, you can't flip a switch. Well, yes, you can. I flip a switch every day. I'm having a coffee. I'm cracking jokes. I'm messing around. Light goes on. I flip a switch. Boom. Hit it. Let's go. Talk. Rant. Interview. And then when the show's done, turn it off. Go listen to music. Have a ham sandwich. I flip a switch every day. You flip a switch for work. We have different personalities. You don't have a different personality. There's having a glass of wine with your wife. There's, boss is coming into the room. Have to act a certain way. You act a certain way with your dogs and your cats and your wife and your kids and your bosses and the management end. We all flip switches. I've never bought into this. Well, you can't flip a switch. Life is flipping a switch. I mean, football players, you're literally tackling people violently at 1:30. At 4:30, you're cuddling with your infant baby. You flip a switch. We all flip switches all day. The Clippers are going to be fine. I don't buy into this whole, the chemistry. Is Kawhi Leonard the best get a bucket, get a stop guy in the league? Yeah. Is Paul George an all-star? Yeah. Has Doc Rivers won a title? Yeah. Is Lou Williams the best sixth man? Yeah. Do they have young guys who can shoot? Yeah. Do they have big guys that can run the floor? Montrezl Harrell? Yeah. Do they have a great front office? Yeah. Is it a perfect roster? Pretty damn close. Best one in the NBA. So that game last night, that last 5 minutes is one of those classic. Watch the last 5 minutes again. If you go to YouTube or wherever you can get it, watch the intensity of the Clippers defense get really tight. No more free looks, and watch how everything with the Clippers offensively, it was just like, it reminded me of Michael Jordan. It was just like, all right, it's just Michael's not the point guard, but everything's going to run through Michael. Everything ran through Kawhi. Get ready, Clipperland. Start stacking those championship trophies. Get ready for it. It's a weird one. It's a bubble trophy, but it's still a trophy. So the Clippers got it easy with Dallas. They really did. Dallas is young, inexperienced. They don't have, their best players never been in the playoffs before. They're not great in close games. That's perfect. For a veteran team like the Clippers, Dallas can challenge you. It's not a walk in the park, but in the end, it's a perfect team to open up with. They don't play real defense. They're not good in close games. They don't have any playoff experience. The Blazers are everything Dallas is not. Since January 1st, the Blazers are 9-2 in close games. They're better than anybody. Damian Lillard, this is his 52nd playoff game tonight. Last night was Luka and Porzingis' first. Portland in the fourth quarter can be devastating because they get everything through Dame, who's also one of the league's best ball handlers, and he controls the tempo. Portland is really just one wing defender from being a nightmare for the Lakers because Portland's got veterans. They've got men, not kids. They've got experience. They got toughness. They have situational excellence. Dallas is young and fun and loose, but they're like a cake that you pull out of the oven, and it's still gooey. You look at it, and you're like, oh, you cut it open, you're like, oh, it's batter. I can see batter. That cake, that Dallas cake, you got to put it back in the oven for about another year. Portland's different. You pull the Portland cake out of the oven, it's just a little better icing from being perfect. If they just had a 6'7" wing like a Trevor Ariza, doesn't opt out and plays, they're a nightmare. They've got star guards, star three-point shooters. They've got wing scorers, backcourt, Nurkic, big side. They got everything. Dallas is the perfect opening round match for the Clippers. Challenging. You have to get your defense right because they can shoot. But late in games, no threat, no playoff experience. The Blazers are a nightmare. They're a nightmare. They got everything. They got the size. They got the veterans. They got the playoff experience. They got a veteran coach. I think it's going to be a great series. I do think the Blazers look a little gassed to me. They certainly did Saturday. They just can't. They can't ratchet up their defense. They can't put away teams. They can't make stops. And I think they're tired, and I think the Lakers are well-rested. But this is as good, potentially, as a first-round matchup gets. This is what the NBA, when you get this, LeBron said it, that Portland shouldn't even be classified as an 8 seed. Dame and Nurkic are probably two of the top, 25 players in the league? Maybe two of the top 20. So it's a real battle tonight. Anthony Davis and LeBron may be two of the top 5. But we got a real battle on our hands. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.